Brendan Fraser's new film Rental Family hits different. This film asks the question, what are true emotions, and can the truth get in the way of something fulfilling? It's kind of poetic that a film about finding emotional catharsis through fiction would resonate so much with its audience. This film moved me so much that I cried. So few films have actually managed to achieve that. And despite there only being half a dozen other film goers at the cinema I went to, I wasn't the only one who cried. Yet this film isn't a one-note experience. It's an enjoyable, funny, and at times exhilarating film that is, above all, sincere. It explores themes of love, loneliness, and family in a way that so few films manage to do. It finds truth in fiction. Rental Family is a new indie release directed by Japanese filmmaker Hikari that follows American actor Philip, played by Brendan Fraser, who struggles to find both meaningful work and connections in Tokyo. But when he's hired by a rental family agency, he soon finds an avenue for both of these desires. Rental family agencies are a real thing in Japan that allow people to hire actors to step into their lives and fulfill some kind of emotional need, even if it's only temporary. The kinds of roles that these actors can play are endless. And through this concept, the film explores so many different scenarios, dynamics, and roles that Philip and his colleagues find themselves in. We see Philip step into the role of a soon-to-be wed fiancé, a journalist turned friend, and a previously estranged father. Through these roles, he finds a fulfilling and meaningful way of life. But at what cost? And will the truth catch up with him and his clients? Having the film framed from the point of view of a foreigner living in Japan is not only a really practical plot device that allows the audience to learn of the world of rental families alongside Philip, but it is an effective emotional anchor to his character arc. As mentioned, a central theme of this film is loneliness. And straight off the bat, it's clear that Philip feels alone and isolated in Tokyo. In one of the first scenes, we see him observing his neighbors through his apartment window and longing to connect with them. This is illustrated through a really effective visual motif that recurs throughout the film of him being and other characters being framed within window frames. While it's easy to initially view the concept of a rental family as something negative like Philip does, this film shows the different ways this can actually make a positive change in people's lives. By comparison to most of the West, Japan is a more socially conservative country. In order to live the lives that they want to, this service offers people the opportunity to circumnavigate Japan's more rigid and conservative views on things like gender and sexuality. Something Hikari pulls off very effectively is throwing both Philip and you, the audience, into jobs the full context of which is not revealed until the last minute. This forces you and Philip to reevaluate any judgment you had of this service and its ability to instigate positive change into people's lives. But this film does an equally effective job of conveying the darker side of rental family agencies. Through Philip's co-worker Aiko, we see the harm that this service can inflict into people's lives. Aiko is regularly hired for apology jobs that involves her pretending to be the mistress of a cheating husband who's trying to fake the apology to his wife. In one of these jobs, we see Aiko getting hit, and although she charges an additional fee for this, she shrugs it off as somehow acceptable that she has to endure this kind of harm. The greatest strength of this film is the amount of variety and nuance of experiences this world has to offer. And like Philip, we become attached to both the clients and the actors. So when tragedy or truth catches up with them, we feel their pain. And although this pain and the array of other emotions come from fiction, the film argues that they are no less valuable because of it. Because the truth is, we all derive meaning and value from things that are technically not true. A great example of this is when Philip takes his pretend daughter Mia to Team Lab Borderless, and she questions the value of the projections for not being real, to which he reassures her that there is still value in these things that are technically not true.
It's cool, but it's fake.
You know, sometimes it's okay to pretend.
But ironically, the film's greatest strength is also its greatest weakness. While there are many arcs that effectively convey both the happiness and hurt that this service instigates into people's lives, not every arc is given the screen time it deserves. In fact, there are points in which it feels like there are crucial scenes that have been left on the cutting room floor. The point in which this felt the most apparent was a scene in which Philip shares a drink with Eichel after she is hit on the job. This feels jarring because earlier in the film there is another scene in which Philip attempts to connect with her at another izakaya, but she refuses to stay after he almost sabotaged one of his first jobs while experiencing extreme doubts over the service and the morality of it. So to go from that scene in which she refuses to sit with him to this scene when she's happy to have a drink with him feels odd without any bridging scene. It definitely felt like something was left on the cutting room floor. And this isn't the only arc that feels this way. The film draws a really interesting comparison between rental families and sex work, with Philip's regular hiring of a sex worker. She points out that while she fulfills his physical needs, rental families fulfill the emotional ones. And aside from a great scene at a fair, this comparison is not really explored any further, which is a shame because this film is not long. It's less than 2 hours, and I think it really could have benefited from an extra half hour fleshing out some of these smaller arcs. Now I'm going to get into some spoilers, so if you haven't seen the film, please go watch it before you watch this section. So of course, the truth does catch up with Mia and Philip that Philip is not in fact her father. And rightfully, she's hurt. And to make things worse, Philip's mum doesn't let Philip see her anymore. But after Mia is accepted into the private school, the whole reason Philip was hired in the first place, she lets Mia see Philip again. But we don't really see Mia's mum's change of heart on screen. And it feels like something was left on the cutting room floor. Despite the fact that Mia's mum doesn't fully appreciate the fulfilling role that Philip played in Mia's life, his presence at the school interview is the reason she got the place in the school. So I think we needed to see this acknowledgement on screen. In addition, Mia's acceptance of Philip's apology felt too easy and rushed. I thought we needed a better reason from Philip for Mia to accept him back into her life, because I can't begin to imagine how traumatic this would be for a child to experience. So I really do think a longer runtime would have helped what was otherwise a pretty cathartic ending. Despite at times feeling a little bit rushed, Rental Family is an exceptional exploration of the need for human connection and the unconventional ways it can be found. And like the Rental Family service itself, the flaws don't get in the way of finding emotional catharsis. It may be fiction, but the story runs parallel alongside ours in a way that reflects a deeper truth or insight previously unknown to us. The facts may be wrong, but the meaning isn't. Hikari's Rental Family proves there is truth in fiction. Have you seen Rental Family? What did you think? Please comment, like, and subscribe, because I swear weekly videos for real this time, and I'll see you there.